Now let's do an experiment here and get rid of our designated router. So what I want to do is go over to router A, or just simply pull the cable on the interface going to router A, which is what I'm going to do right now. So we're going to pull that cable on router A. It's going to cause a topology change here because router A's interface goes down. So we're going to lose our neighbor relationship to 192.168.10.1. That might take a moment for that to happen. Right now we still have that neighbor relationship. Looks like though we haven't heard from it in a while. There's the dead timer. The dead timer should be expiring real soon here. The dead timer is down to 7 seconds now. So in 2 seconds now we should see that neighbor expire. There we go, 0 seconds. We get the message saying that the neighbor went from full to down and we lost our neighbor. If I now do my show IP OSPF interface F00, we should see here now that my designated router should be router B now. And it is 192.168.2.1. My backup designated router is going to be this router at 172.16.45.1. If I issue the command show IP OSPF neighbor, here that I'm only neighbored up with my designated router, which is router B. Now, when I go connect router A back, let's say that I repair any issue that existed there and it reconnects to the network, what we should see now is that router B should remain the designated router, router C should remain the backup designated router, and router A now, even though it has the highest router ID, now should be a DR other. Let's do our show IP OSPF neighbors first. Take a look here, and right now we are neighbored up with 192.168.2.1 designated router, which is router B. We're also neighbored up with 192.168.10.1 router A, which is now listed as a DR other. If I issue the show IP OSPF interface F00, here it is going to show us the designated router and the backup designated router are still router A and C respectively. Let's go over to router A. On router A, if I do my show IP OSPF interface F00, here we'll see the same thing, that right now the state of this router is DR other, the designated router is router B, and my BDR is router C. So hopefully you can see here how OSPF is behaving on this broadcast network. Again, I said this in the beginning of the lecture, we don't typically set up OSPF like this. That doesn't mean that we never do it. It's that we typically do not do this. It's recommended with OSPF in order to get a really solid SPF, or shortest path first calculation, that we have point-to-point links set up in between our OSPF routers, and then we try to avoid situations where we have multiple routers connecting together in a broadcast domain.